Hi, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Letting It Out. I have a lot to let out today. I hope that everyone's having a good week because I recently learned that this is actually the saddest week of the entire year. Specifically, Monday is said to be the bluest day of the year. Not only is it a Monday, it's also the middle of winter. If you live in New York, they're saying this is the coldest week for us, and it's actually just as cold here as it is in Alaska. So, not only are we trapped inside because it's literally Alaska outside, if you do go outside, it's so cold that it hurts. And for someone like me that loves to be out and about, I always like to be busy and have plans and like always be doing things. I can't do that when it's freezing out. I just feel trapped inside. And I'm sure a lot of other people feel that way. But on top of the whole weather situation, we're now 3 weeks into the new year. And it's like about that time that maybe you've already broken some of your New Year's resolutions, or you're like, oh my gosh, the first month of the year is almost over and I haven't accomplished anything yet. I set all of these Q1 goals and like none of them are looking on track to be accomplished. So, a combination of all of these factors adds up to be the saddest week of the year. And when I heard this, it honestly made me feel really validated and kind of made me feel better because I was having a pretty sad week after I talked up such a big game that this is going to be my year and I'm going to be Mrs. Positive this year and I have lucky girl syndrome now and like all the negativity is being left in 2025. And then 3 weeks later, I'm already like a sad girl again and those negative feelings have been creeping in. But it made me feel a little better to know that like it's just statistics. And statistically, it's normal to be sad this week. So if you didn't know this fun fact and you were feeling sad this week, maybe this will make you feel less alone because it made me feel better. I also took somewhat of a little break from social media this week. I guess you could say I literally just didn't post for like 4 days, but I definitely was on the apps. So saying a break is kind of a stretch. A break would be like I had one of those brick things on my phone and I literally didn't open up social media. That wasn't the case. I was probably scrolling more than ever. Honestly, my scroll count for this week was probably like 11 hours a day. So maybe I should just say I took like a content making break this week because I just couldn't think of anything to post. I just was having writer's block, I guess you could say. I don't know if I would say I was sad this week. I was just like extremely stressed out this week because I kind of fixated on, I've obviously spoken about this on here, my housing situation, how I really want to move out. I like really heavily fixated on that this week because I just feel like I can't work towards any of my goals or focus on like improving in any way until I first fix that issue. So I just like heavily was focusing on that this week. I went on a bunch of tours. I was emailing a bunch of different buildings. Me and Chris talked about it a lot. And I feel like since all of my focus was just on that, I couldn't think about anything else. Like my brain just couldn't think about anything else. So then that was also adding to my stress for the week because then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going days without posting. And I don't think I've ever gone for more than like 2 days in the past 2 years without posting. Because if I do, I like really stress out over it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to forget about me. I just put in 2 years of work to now throw it out the window because I needed a 4 day break, which is definitely not the case. I even like tried looking at other creators who I watch and see like do they ever take breaks? A lot of other people do, and that made me feel better. Like other people do it all the time. They'll post like once every 3 days, and I've never even noticed because the way that the algorithm works is like you're seeing videos from 2 months ago. So maybe that person hasn't posted in 5 days, but the algorithm's feeding me videos that they posted 4 months ago that I've never seen. And to be so honest, no one's noticed. No one's messaged me. No one's commented on my stuff. No one's DM'd me on Instagram and been like, oh my gosh, Lizzie, where are your videos? I miss your videos. It's been 4 days. Where are you? No one said that. So maybe I make a bigger deal out of it than it really is. And honestly, I think it's better to only post things that you like want to be out there instead of just posting because you feel like you need to post and then you look back at it and you're like, ew, I hate this video. Because I used to do that a lot and then I would just end up deleting it. And I feel like it's better to just only post things that I actually think are entertaining and like good content instead of just throwing junk out there. Maybe I think so much more into it, but I'm going to get back on it today, okay? So this episode is going to be about lucky girl syndrome. It was one of my New Year's resolutions to start pretending that I have lucky girl syndrome. So, what is lucky girl syndrome? First of all, if you don't know, if you're not chronically online, it's kind of a made up term that I think blew up on TikTok. It's just another form of like manifestation. I feel like manifestation has been really big for a few years now, that the more you say something, the more likely it's going to happen. If you believe it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's kind of like Santa, like when you're little, you know, when they're like, well, if you don't believe in the Christmas magic, then Santa's not going to come to you. It's just the adult version of that, kind of. And I do have my thoughts on Santa. That's actually a video that I've deleted because the comments were making it out to be like I was saying something like so mean, and like I really didn't mean it like that. And then I watched it back and I was like, I guess I am talking in like my voice just makes things seem like I'm really serious about it. That's honestly why I've kind of had to like move away from like the hot take videos, because my voice makes it seem like I'm so serious and like I really mean everything I'm saying. And like in the beginning with my content, I kind of liked it because it was kind of rage baity. So people would take like everything I said so literally, and then it would like cause rage and it would make the videos do well. But now that I'm more of like a lifestyle creator, I like don't really want to be a rage baiter. How did I even get here? Like we're talking about lucky girl syndrome. So basically, it's like Santa, and my thoughts on Santa are that I think it's messed up that we tell kids that Santa's real because he's not. And like, why are you making kids think magic is real? And that there's actually a old man that flies around in the sky with reindeer and squeezes through the chimney to bring you gifts, and like there's elves making the toys. Meanwhile, like they'll just go to the mall and see that the toys are in the store, and it's going to start causing all of this confusion. And I just always have been such a realist, maybe because I was like raised this way, but I've always just been like super aware of what reality is. And I knew that like my parents are going to work and like work several jobs so they can make money, and how much money you have is how many gifts your kids are gonna have. Like I've always been hyper aware of this. So maybe that like type of mentality has just stuck with me forever, because I never really took manifestation too seriously either, because you can't just say I'm going to be the biggest pop star in the world and like just write that down in a journal every day and like dream about it every night and hope that one day you're the biggest pop star in the world if you're like not even making songs, you're hardly posting, you're singing videos, you're like not doing any of the things that you would need to do to become the biggest pop star in the world. But just because you're like dreaming about it and talking about it, it's gonna happen. And like maybe you think that your like one video you post is gonna be the one that blows up and Scooter Braun is gonna find you, like what happened to Justin Bieber. And I never really believed in that. When people say I manifested this, I always just felt like that wasn't anything that actually was happening by magic. It was just luck. Like you just happened to be so lucky to be born in the shoes that it's likely for you to become a big pop star. And then you hear them do these award shows and they're like, I manifested this. But it's like, did you really? Or did you just have all of the cards in your favor? And yes, you did really wish for it and you worked for it, but like the fact that all of those cards were in your favor is more likely the reason why it ended up happening, rather than the fact that you just have been writing it in a journal every day. So that's always how I viewed manifestation, and I never really like took it too seriously, because I was like, I'm very well aware that if I want something to happen, if I want my dreams to happen, I have to just work for it and I have to do it. And you can have luck on your side. I do like believe in luck. I do. I do feel like some people have luck, and I don't know if this is like a magic thing or if it's just like random chance or what it is. But I know someone who is actually incredibly lucky. And if you've watched a few of my other episodes, this is the same person actually that I was saying was like a really toxic friend of mine in college. And this girl is like one of the luckiest people I've ever seen before. And it's like she doesn't even try. Like, she genuinely just has lucky things happen to her. And, like, when I'm saying lucky, I mean things that you can't even manifest, things that were just like absolute random luck. Like, for example, there was a time she got pulled over, like, got a ticket, and there was a guy that witnessed it all happen. And this guy knocked on her window and said, like, how much is the ticket? And he handed her the cash for it. And I know you're probably like, oh, maybe she's just like super pretty. She's pretty, but like, there's lots of beautiful girls in this world. And I never hear of things happen to them like the way that things happen to her. But even just like men things aside, because maybe she's just really good with the men, maybe she's just really good with talking to guys and like sweet talking and getting things that she wants out of them. She also just has crazy luck with everything else. Like, you know, when you're at like a basketball game and they shoot shirts out, like, she would be the person that would always win the shirt. Even when she moved to LA, that's when we rekindled. When she was apartment hunting, most people are looking for apartments online, which is what she was doing. She toured one apartment, and then I guess that apartment, like, someone else won it, and then that broker or whatever, I could be explaining this so wrong, recommended her to a different apartment. And this one was like not on any of the sites or anything, because it was just like some old couple was renting out their apartment and they didn't know how to do like any of that stuff online. So they like didn't even know what they had, and they rented her out this 2 bedroom, completely renovated, beautiful apartment in a great location. And she was paying like the same amount that I was for like my crusty little studio. She also just got like a super great high paying job after having no experience in it. Like, I don't know. She's just the luckiest person alive. And whenever I'm with her, I'll always ask her, like, how are you so lucky? Like, how do these things just keep happening to you? And it's because she knows she's lucky. She like tells everyone, like, I'm super lucky. Like, I'm very well aware I'm lucky. So I don't know, maybe she's a great example that lucky girl syndrome is real, because she just believes she's lucky. So all these like incredibly lucky things happen. So if you know, I've been testing it out this year. I wanted to start saying I'm lucky, because I always notoriously say I'm really unlucky. I don't know if it's fact the way that her luckiness is a fact, or if I just like am only focusing on bad things, because I have been reflecting this week, and I'm like, all the things that I say are so unlucky that happened to me, is it just because I'm like only hyper focusing on the bad things? If someone else was in my shoes, would they be focusing on the good things? And maybe they would think they're so lucky, even though it's like me and they're living the same life as me. Maybe they're focusing on like only the good things. I'm also incredibly lucky just for the absolute basics. I'm healthy. I have an able body. I have a healthy family. I have parents that are together and love each other, which is actually very rare. 50% of marriages end in divorce, if you didn't know that. And I think that's wild. So if you are someone that was raised with parents that are together and you were able to see a healthy marriage and you didn't have to deal with really toxic parents or a toxic dad, or like seeing your parents fighting all the time, you are considered lucky, because majority of people never had that. Or I'm never like, oh, I'm so lucky that I have clear skin. I always see everyone else complaining about their acne, and I never really struggled with acne. I like never focus on those good things. I saw a TikTok recently that made me realize that I actually am aware of how lucky I am. The TikTok said something along the lines of like, if you think your life is a mess and you're feeling down on yourself, just imagine if you were given the opportunity to trade lives with anyone else in the entire world. Imagine if a genie said to you, like, oh, you hate your life so much. If you press this button, I'll let you switch lives with anyone else in the entire world. Would you press it? And I obviously immediately thought to myself, no, of course not. Things could be way worse. I'm so lucky that I'm healthy. I have a roof over my head. I'm in America. I'm able bodied. All of the very basic things that we don't really appreciate on the daily basis and we take for granted, but there's literally millions of people in the world that would do anything just to have the basic necessities that some of us have. So I try to remind myself that I actually am incredibly lucky. I'm lucky just to be here, to have the opportunity to chase my dreams, and like for my biggest issue to be my career, and I'm stressed about where I'm going to live, and I'm stressed about money, and I'm stressed about first world problems that there's millions of people in the world that it's their dream just to be able to strive for a career. Like they have so many other things to worry about that like a career isn't even on a drawing board of things to worry about. They're more worried about where to find food and shelter and safety. So that's my reminder that I'm lucky just to be here. And I feel like this is a really good case study of how social media can make you compare yourself to people and make you downplay your accomplishments because you just see other people doing better than you. And you see all of these super successful people all the time. And you start thinking that that's the standard and that everyone is doing so well and everyone's so successful. But that's what social media is. It is a highlight reel. And also, the people that are struggling probably aren't posting online. So the people that you are seeing online are the people that are in a really good stage of their lives most of the time. You are seeing the people that are incredibly successful, wealthy, pretty, have the best lives. Like that's what you're seeing. So you start believing that that's the majority of people and that everyone else is just doing great and then I'm doing worse in comparison to everyone else when that's like not the truth at all. We're actually, if you're watching this on your iPhone and you're safe and you're warm right now in the winter, you're actually doing a lot better than most people, but we just aren't reminded of that enough. And I just feel like me, of all people, the fact that I need a TikTok to remind me of this just says a lot with how much social media is doing to my brain because I should already be aware of this. I should be very well aware of this without a TikTok reminding me. Just if I think about it, I'm the first of my entire family line to ever graduate from college. All of the women in my family before me, including my mother, were never even given the option, the chance, like even mention of college. That was never even slightly a possibility for them. And I was not only able to go to college, I was encouraged to. Ever since I was younger, everything was like, you're going to go to college one day. And I should recognize those things more and realize how lucky I am instead of always focusing on the bad. So, and that's why it's my New Year's resolution to be more positive and practice gratitude more. I don't think I mentioned that in my New Year's resolutions, but I'm adding it now. I definitely need to practice gratitude a lot more. So, for the past few weeks, I've been saying that I have lucky girl syndrome. I made a short video joking about how my first lucky thing happened. I was at a coffee shop and I really, in my mind, kept thinking that I like wanted both of these drinks because one of them had the cream top, but then one of them was the vanilla latte. And obviously, I wasn't going to order both drinks. So I was like, can I have the vanilla latte with the cream on the side? And they were like, sorry, we can't do that. And then the worker was just so nice and gave me both drinks. And I was like, that's super lucky. And like, just something so small like that genuinely made me so happy because I'm like, wow, things like that never happen to me. Like, I feel like I'm never that person that just like gets the two drinks, or you know how some people like order food and they'll accidentally have given them like someone else's order and it's like this massive huge order meanwhile you ordered like one slice of pizza. I feel like those were things I've only ever seen like online and like they've never happened to me. And even though obviously they're not like major, just small things like that I feel like brings so much happiness because it's like, oh my god, I got so lucky, even though it's just something so small. So just having something small like that made me feel good, and I made a video about it. But what I didn't mention in my TikTok were the unlucky things that happened to me this week because I decided that if I'm gonna say I'm lucky girl now, like I can't harp on the unlucky things that happened to me. And also, when you don't harp on them, you realize how not big of a deal they were. For example, my email got hacked this week, which I am never the person to get hacked. I'm like so paranoid when it comes to this stuff. I am overprotective of all of my social medias. I have two factor on everything. Whenever I get a suspicious text, I know to never open it. I never open links. I never do anything like that. Like, I'm very aware of scams and to avoid them. And I'm not stupid. Like, I hardly ever fall for these things ever. But this week, I got an email from, like, it was a real email. It was a girl that I've emailed several times before. There's this app that you can, like, do food promotions with, and, like, sometimes they're free, sometimes they're paid. And when it's paid, this is the girl that you would get an email from. But now looking back, I'm like, I should have looked into this more because it was her email, but the email was just a document. Like, it literally didn't even say anything. Like, hey, Lizzie, we have an opportunity for you. Like, check out this thing. Like, it was nothing. It was literally just a document. It didn't even have a subject line. But I was so intrigued. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what if it's a good brand deal? Like, yay, like, this girl reached out to me. So I obviously tried to open it. I was on the bus when I got the email, and I'm like trying like 4 times on this bus, keep trying to get into this document, and it just wasn't working. It kept making me do those like I'm not a robot things. I did it like 5 times. Like, I was about to go into a workout class, and I was like, I need to know what is in this document before I'm off my phone for an hour. I was so intrigued. Like, I needed to know what was in this document. So I'm like trying over and over. I never got in. I get out the class. By the time I get out the class, I have an email from the girl saying, hi everyone, if you received a document from me, I'm so sorry. Please don't open it. My account was hacked and it's a scam. So I'm freaking out because I actually never got into the document, but I did like log in and do the robot thing and all of that. So I like wasn't sure if I technically was going to get hacked for it. So just to be safe, I changed my password. I set up my recovery email. Like, I did all the things that you should do because I was worried that I was going to get hacked. The day goes by, I'm completely fine. In the morning, I'm like answering emails, and then out of nowhere, I get logged out, and I'm like, oh no, it's happening. I start panicking. Chris texts me and he's like, I just got an email document from you. Like, you emailed me a document. I'm like, oh my God, no, it made me email everyone it now. And I was like so embarrassed because I couldn't even tell everyone, like, this is a scam, don't press it, because I got locked out of my account. So I do the recovery email and all of that. I finally get back into my account. I find the email that they sent out to everyone. I reply to everyone. I say, like, please don't open this. It was a scam. And I guess so many people flagged me as a scam that then my entire account got deleted. And I was panicking like crazy because last week I was like waiting to hear back from a talent agency, which by the way, I still haven't heard from them. So everyone, please hope for me. Please hope that something lucky happens for me. But I was like so impatient all week. Like, I need to hear back from this talent agency. And then this happens. Now I'm locked out my email. And this talent agency was probably now receiving my scam email and thinking like this girl's an idiot. Super, super stressed out over it. And I'm like, see, I'm so freaking unlucky. And it took less than 24 hours for me to fix everything and get back into my account. And literally, no one even said anything like, oh my gosh, what was that email? You just got me hacked. Like, no one said anything. I fixed it all within 24 hours. But in the moment, I was like, oh my God, I'm so unlucky. Like, I thought I was supposed to be freaking lucky now. And like, I'm unlucky. Things keep happening. But it just like wasn't that serious. Like, I just can't make the biggest deal about every tiny little unlucky thing that happens to me, or else I am gonna still keep thinking that I'm unlucky. Also, like the day that I got the 2 coffees, I actually spilt it because I was holding 2 coffees and I was getting into the car. I actually spilled it on my jeans, and I was going to do like a content thing with a Brooklyn thrift shop. And I'm like, great, now I'm gonna have coffee on my jeans right after I just thought something lucky happened. And then it just didn't matter at all because when I was filming the video, I was like trying on other clothes. It just wasn't that serious though. I was more lucky of the fact that I'm on my way to go do a really cool collab thing. I was doing like a closet sale with a thrift store in Brooklyn, and I like wasn't even acknowledging how cool that is. I'm more focused on like coffee on my pants. And it just makes me think like maybe even the people that say they're so lucky, maybe these small unlucky things do happen to them every day, but in their minds, the good things outweigh the bad. So they still do truly believe that they're so lucky because they're like only focusing on the lucky things and not these small unlucky things. So I've really been working on this mentality. I'm going to keep it up for the rest of the year. I hope if you're watching this too, you also just start telling yourself that you are lucky and recognize when lucky things do happen to you. And when unlucky things happen, you're just like, yeah, that's life. It's not the end of the world that some coffee spilled on my pants. It's not unlucky. It's just life. So if we're asking the question, is lucky girl syndrome real? Technically, like scientifically, I want to say yes because of everything I just said, that it's more of a mentality thing, that if you keep focusing on the lucky things that are happening to you and you're not focusing on the unlucky things, overall you're going to be in a more positive mindset because you're like, oh, I'm so lucky. Good things keep happening to me this week. And that positive mindset might push you to wake up earlier and push you to do another workout class because you're in a good mood, and push you to apply to more jobs and push you to post more. So overall, like, it is helping you. Actually, I read that scientifically this is true. It's called confirmation bias. When you believe you're lucky, you'll notice more good things happening. And if you're believing you're so lucky and noticing all these good things, you're going to feel more confident. And it is a fact that confidence makes you act differently. You can accomplish a lot more when you're confident. If you're confident, you're going to apply for those jobs that you might not be qualified for. Like my friend that I was talking about before, who is so incredibly lucky, maybe she's just so confident that she puts herself in these positions for something to happen that the average person would think like that's not even worth a chance, like that would never happen. But this girl is so ridiculously confident, and maybe that's what is bringing on her luck. I don't know how she does it, honestly, but I guess it does just go down to confidence. And like the job that I said she just got that she's like definitely underqualified for, but she got it because she must have went on that interview so confident and convinced them that she is the girl for the job and she has all of the experience. And even if they like don't even believe her and they just loved her personality and they're like, this girl is so confident, like I want her on our team. I think that's the biggest thing that makes lucky girl syndrome real, is that you're just so confident. Kind of just one big placebo effect. So that's why it might be true, but I do want to talk about my problem with it. I mentioned this in my last episode, I think, which is why I wanted to make an entire episode talking about this, because I feel like we just did not talk about it enough. I mentioned the whole giveaway thing. If you think that you're so lucky, you're going to enter those social media giveaways. You know, when you see an influencer do a giveaway and it's like, follow me in like 3 of my posts and tag your friend in the comments, and you might win this suitcase filled with PR and $1,000 Revolve gift card and all of that. I've never been the person to ever enter those because I'm like, obviously that's not going to be me. This video has 2,000 comments and 100,000 likes. There's no chance that I would be the one to win. And now I'm just like embarrassing myself that people are going to see my comment. But if you're someone that genuinely thinks like, oh, I always win giveaways, I'm so that person that wins giveaways, you're going to be entering every single giveaway you see, which factually now you are at a better chance to win a giveaway because you're entering 10 a day and I'm entering 1 a year maybe. That person entering 10 a day is significantly more likely to win a giveaway than I am. But maybe I could be just as likely to win a giveaway as they were if I were to enter as much as them. Like, biggest issue with the whole lucky girl syndrome thing, though, is what I mentioned in the beginning with like the whole pop star situation. Because let's say there's 2 girls that both grew up wanting to be pop stars and have equal talents. They both sing just as good. They both have the look. They both have the stage presence. They both have all of that equal, but one of them doesn't have the money to go to singing lessons and doesn't have parents that are going to bring her to Disney auditions. And then the other one, maybe if we're going like on the extreme end of luck, maybe her dad is literally a music producer and has all of the connections. And he was like, oh, you want to be a pop star? We're going to get you into singing lessons. We're going to get you into auditions. We're going to get you into the studio. We're going to do all of this. And that doesn't guarantee she's going to be a pop star, but she did have, if we want to compare to the giveaway situation, it's like she entered the giveaway of becoming a pop star 5,000 times versus the other girl. Let's say her only giveaway entry possibility was posting on TikTok. And she's still going to do that. She's still going to post on TikTok every single day. But that other girl is not only posting on TikTok, she's also getting help to become an opener somewhere. She's also getting in someone's music video somehow. She's also friends with people in the industry and getting posted by them. And her TikToks are getting boosted by friends that have a bunch of followers already. And she has all of that help, which, even though the other girl's still in the running, she still is putting her tickets out there every day. She still is posting every day. It's hard to compare her, let's say, 5 entries a day versus the girl that has like 50,000 entries a day. And you never know. Luck could be on that girl's side. Maybe the girl with the 5 entries a day is still the one that hits the lottery. And the girl with the 50,000 entries a day still never took off and never became a pop star. Those situations do sometimes happen. But realistically, the one with all of those entries is more likely to win. Is this making sense? I'm comparing like luck with lottery tickets if you're picking up on that. Like, obviously, if you want to play the lottery, you could spend $1,000 on mega ball tickets, and you do have a better chance statistically than the guy who just paid for one little $5 ticket and was like, let's see what happens. But the one ticket guy does still have a chance, and sometimes those people do win. So that's what I tried to remind myself in all of this, because I feel like for a majority of my life, when I would think of my circumstances versus someone else who had more advantages, I would always feel super doubtful over it. Like I knew I always wanted to be on social media and a content creator, but for a majority of my life, I like didn't even give it a chance because I was comparing myself to people that were doing this job that already had all of those advantages. They already had the funds to get the camera, they already had a beautiful house to record in, they were already living in LA, they already had all of these huge advantages that made it more likely that theirs would succeed than if I were to try. So I just never even tried. When you look at it from the more hopeful perspective, you think that guy that played only one lottery ticket still won, when there's people that are spending thousands a day, every day, trying to win this lottery. But then that guy that just put his one chance out there, he still won. And if he would have told himself, like, oh, it's not worth it, let me not waste $5, how would I possibly win? He still put himself out there to play that lottery, and he ended up winning. That was honestly why I really wanted to talk about this, because like I'll be scrolling my free page and I'll see this girl saying like, I just got the craziest brand deal, like I'm so lucky, girl, I'm so this. And then I go to her page and she's friends with like the biggest influencers on the entire app and like is signed with the biggest agency. So I'm like, is that really necessarily luck? Or are you just most likely to be chosen for this because of who you are, and luck had nothing to do with it? So when I see stuff like that, sometimes that's when I'm like, oof, I don't think lucky girl syndrome is real. Lucky girl syndrome is just another word for someone that was already at an advantage, now reaping the benefits. But everything that we talked about today, I do think it's real because of the scientific reasoning behind it, that if you just believe you're lucky, you'll start focusing on the lucky things. And if you focus on lucky things, you're going to be happier overall because you're just in a better mood. You think lucky things are happening. You're going to put yourself out there more. You're going to maybe even try harder because you think that your hard work could possibly be worth it. If you believe that you're unlucky, you might not even try because you're like, I'm so unlucky, there's no point. Why am I going to waste my time for it to just not work out? So I do think lucky girl syndrome is real, and the fact that it's a really good mindset to have. Being positive will always improve your life in every way. And that's why I've really been trying to focus on that this year, because the more positive I am and the more that I think that I am worthy of good things happening and good things can happen for me, the harder that I'll work, because I know that it'll happen. I just have to work for it. And if just waking up every day and saying, I'm lucky, lucky things are going to happen today, makes your day better, then that's a win. Lucky girl syndrome is real just because it's making your day better. So, overall, I do think the mindset of lucky girl syndrome is real. Do I believe in the magic? I don't think so. But I don't know, honestly, because I am that person that like sees my lucky number and I'll genuinely think like, oh, I saw my lucky number today, something good is going to happen today. And like that's solely up to magic. I think the fact that I believe that says that I do believe in like magical things happening. So maybe I do. I don't know. And I just wanted to leave off with saying that it's expected and normal to have bad things happen to you and have bad days and have bad weeks and have things not work out. it's not just you. It's happening to everyone. But if you're spending all your time online, you're only seeing the good things happening to people. Like everyone says, social media is a highlight reel. You're only seeing those good things, but it's human for not everything to be perfect and not everything is going to work out. And maybe you could even see things not working out as luck. That rejection is redirection. That job that I told you guys I really wanted in November, that I said I like worked so hard for it and I didn't get it. Now I like can't even imagine myself doing that job. And for all I know, maybe if I would have started that, I would have never started this podcast, which I really have been loving and I enjoy so much. So everything does happen for a reason, and you have to look at it that way instead of just harping on things that don't work out. Wait, I think I forgot to even mention it before. I actually got a flat tire yesterday and I was already in a bad mood this week, and I really was like, oh my god, the unlucky things keep happening. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, the unlucky things keep happening. I told my dad, and it literally cost $30 to fix. That was it, $30. And I was making a huge deal about being unlucky over $30. So that's just another example that is just like so not that serious. And I should be like, well, I'm so lucky that me and my amazing boyfriend are touring apartments and we're finally going to move soon, instead of like freaking out over a flat tire that costs $30 to fix. So I hope that this helps you guys. I hope that you may feel better if you're someone that also thinks that you're super unlucky. I hope this helps change your mindset, because I'm the CEO of Girl who says they're unlucky. So enter those giveaways, apply to those jobs, reach out to people that you've been too scared to reach out to, go out more, go on the dating apps more. If you're single, go on more dates. Just the more giveaway entries you put out there, the more likely that you are to win. The more you enter that lottery every day, the more likely that you could possibly win one day. And even if you don't win the lottery, you'll still be growing in every other way. So shoot for the moon, and if you don't hit, maybe you'll land on the stars, something like that. I don't know. I love quotes. So, fun fact, when I first started this podcast, I was going to make it like fully quotes themed, and every episode was just going to be called a quote, and I was going to use like a random quote generator and then talk about whatever like that quote says and then relate it to real life and all of that. And I spoke with my friend. She was like, that's really corny. Please don't do that. So I want you guys to let me know if you actually think that that would have been a good idea or if that is corny. And if you got this far, please subscribe, like the video, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, leave a comment, and let me know what else you would like to talk about on here. Okay. I love you guys so much, and I hope that we're all super lucky this year and we all have lucky girl syndrome. I'm giving you the lucky fingers. Okay. Bye.